So this is a business design document. Can you able to see my screen, sir?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Just click on hide option.
So I have done for only accounts payable. So this one, this is same as per the template only. It is there. So this is the index page I have done.
Okay, in index, you just explain highly what all the things, then you'll go in detail. Yeah.
Yeah, so coming to accounts payable, just an overview of an accounts payable and the business requirement, what this Rejayat company is giving us the requirement, and to be process flow is also explained here, and the steps, what are the steps involved in the to be process flow is also there, and in accounts payable, account process of GR and IR process is explained, and invoice verification, and the vendor payment, local or foreign payment, that is also explained here, and withhold taxes, reports, and integration points. And these performance measures, these are all already there, sir, but I didn't do anything in this one.
Okay, but here you can also add one retention.
But
Retention, so when there is, as I explained in during the BVP review, so retention is like when there is a project, so the subcontracting services, subcontracting vendor who perform the services in the project. So what
okay,
happens? So let's say there is a 2 years agreement or 3 years agreement, they have to perform the job in the project site. Okay.
okay,
So based on suppose let's say 100 1 million, the contract value they are saying to the particular subcontracting service provider. So what they do actually, let's say every month they are going to raise the payment certificates. So
mm-hmm.
the project site, what happened? There is a site engineer who is going to monitor the services which the vendor is provided, and he will create the whatever activities, maybe multiple sub activities will be there, so we call it as a service activities. So he will confirm that. Okay, so he'll, let's say, the vendor will raise the invoice, so he will create a payment certificate. So this is not a SAP standard actually, so they will he will see physically, he will verify this and he will create a payment certificate, so which includes what all the services he's performed, how much percentage of the activity is completed, like that. So then this payment certificate will go for the approval process. Okay, so the
Okay,
payment certificate will go for the approval process. Let's say there is a cost control manager or project manager or CEO or MD or chairman, he will approve this, right? So once
yes,
this is approved, then finally what will happen? The service activity, service entry sheet will be created. Okay, so based on the approval, so the service entry sheet will be created. So because they will submit this bill to vendor, so sorry, submit the bill to the customer who, I mean, actually, the actual project is, going to execute it as the customer, right? So this customer will say that, okay, they will certify it. So what the, either it is the Zayat is worked, or whether, on behalf of Zayat, any third party vendor or service provider who perform the job. So now finally the customer will review the payment certificate, what result they are going to raise it, right? So
yes,
for that, the payment certificate internally, so first all the management team, they are going to approve. So then they are submitting to the customer. So customer will, again, they will review this. So suppose there is any changes, again they are going to, let's say, instead of he is mentioning, let's say, let's say some square feet of work, let's say there is a 1 kilometers, there is a trees, they want to cut the trees. So maybe they are saying that, okay, only for 90% they have cut it, but they raise it for 100% of activity is completed. So then customer will say that no, no, not yet completed, still there is a 10% of work is pending. So then they will revisit, then they will modify, right, the service, whatever the the payment certificate which the management they approved, then again their reapproval process, changing the value. So then they are submitting the actual payment certificate to the the customer, who is the project owner, right? So finally, so for this purpose, what happened? So every, let's say every month there is a percentage of work. We are releasing the amount to the subcontractor. So when in purchase order level, we'll mention that there is a retention percentage. Okay. So for like how the advance payment percentage we are giving, right? 10% of down payment. Same way, there is a retention 5%, 10% has to be specified in the PO, and this retention during the invoice, that has to be posted to the respective GL account. Okay, so the 5% of the retention will be captured. So maybe end of the project, so this cost will be released to the subcontractor.
Okay.
Right. So just include these points, whatever I explained here. So just you
Okay.
can able to whatever you understand. So just write down, as a retention point of view, what is the retention? So what purpose we are going to use it? What is the percentage of retention? How this retention is going to be calculated? What is the accounting entry? So these are all information you can get it. So just you can able to update in your BBP.
Okay. Where we have to do that, sir? In the integration points or like something like that we have.
In PO level, so you just end of the day you need where they are mentioning this retention, right? In purchase order level, you have to mention, okay, the retention will be maintained in the purchase order, let's say 5%, and during the invoice verification, this retention percentage will be posted into the respective GL account, right?
Okay.
So, yeah. So what I'm suggesting, so this process you can check it also side by side. So along with the MM and FI, so you just pick it who is available. So just to execute this process and test in our system, all servers in our server. So then you will
Okay.
have more clarity. So how this retention works, what is the basic configuration to be done from the FI side. So MM said, I don't think so any configuration. This is standard behavior where we need to specify this, down payment processing, advance payment processing, how they mention. Same way, header and item level, you can maintain this retention percentage. So finally, you are raising the invoice for that the GL has to be configured. So based on that, the retention will be posted.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, sir. So in this, these are all the same. I hadn't touched anything here, sir. Only these process I have done here.
Okay.
So that's it coming here. And the basic account payable. What is the account payable here? I have explained here, sir. And the business requirement I have taken this from the our scope document, Rijayat scope document. So should I explain this, sir?
So high level explain solution.
Yeah. So, just what is the business requirement of accounts payable for Rijat company? That one we have explained here. And the process in accounts payable, the company wants is a accounting process for GRIR, payments to local or a foreign suppliers, advance payments to local or a foreign suppliers, treatment of invoiced quality and prices variances, recognition of forex gain or a loss on sale or purchase, valuation of customers and vendors balances, elimination of intercompany receivables and payables, tax codes on sales and purchase, and to be process flow. This is for the procurement of material and vendor flow, payment flow. I mean, this is related to only. The material will come. To be processed, four steps.
So
First, here
just
it
explain the flow diagram now. So how the flow diagram works. Just increase the size.
able to see that, sir.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So here, actually, this is a material for local purchase. So here the supply chain, here the vendor starts, sir. Actually, so vendor purchasing officer material.
See, this is the complete process, right? So we, as a FICO consultant, we should know how the procurement works, how the PR they are creating. So that is what I'm telling you guys has to be executed on complete end-to-end cycle. Then you'll understand the process, right?
Yes.
So how the let's say supply chain planner is there, right? So supply chain planner, what they do? So they will, yeah, 1 second. Okay, so here, yeah, so here the supply chain planner. So what is the role? Supply chain planner. Okay,
To
so
create the purchase requisition.
yeah, so just tell, okay, they are raising the purchase requisition.
Purchase
Yeah,
requisition. Yeah. So after creating the purchase requisition, if any modification or a change is there, they will do that. And if required, if what like it is not approved, then that will be cancelled. So again, it will go to the workflow for an approval status for cross-functional approvers. If it is approved, then it will convert into the purchase order. And if it is converted into purchase order, then create the down
You
payment
have to
request.
explain the role. So mainly the role is more important. So as a consultant, so when you are talking about the process, the role is more important. So they specify like a purchasing officer, right? So what is a purchasing officer? What they do? So their responsibility, they are raising the purchase order, right? So they will source the vendor, and they are going to procure the material from the respective vendor. So here the same way, like this P, once the PO is created, then it will go for the approval process. Once it's approved, then it will send the soft copy of the PO to the vendor. The vendor will deliver the material. So even though this process is completely MM, but still, as a FICO point of view, we should know that, because that is what the integration, right? So when you are, if you are clear about the process, then you can talk about all the process, like how the subcontracting process works, how the stock transfer process works. So because these are all the process are integrations. So wherever the integration is there, definitely they will screw you. The questions will arise during the interview, right? So tell me about the subcontracting process, what you implemented, what you configured in your implementation project. So then you should know in the purchase order, the subcontracting process, there is account assignment category, and then there is item category. Item category will be L for subcontracting process. So when you are executing the process, when you have to execute the process. I don't want you to configure, but at least how the PR is created, how the PO is created, how the approval is happening. So finally, how they are going to send the material, subcontracting material, the raw material to the vendor, how they are receiving the final product from the vendor. So after that, how you are going to raise the, see, invoice is coming at last, but still, this process you should talk. So how it works. So that is what all the P2P process, all the O2C process, right? So you should be, as a FICO point of view, you guys should talk more. I understood.
Yes, sir.
Maybe we don't have that hands-on experience in the procurement point of view, but just to get from them. So just at least one of the process, how it works, just show in MM. So like that, get help from some MM team. Then you just execute one process. Then you'll have a confidence. Then you can explain. See, when accounts payable comes, it's a purely MM, right? MM and FI. So we
Yes,
should
sir.
familiarize to explain how the flow works, who is raising the PR, who is approving the PR, who is raising the PO, who is approving the PO, then who is receiving the material. So after that, how the invoice, who is creating invoice, but prior to work also, you should know that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
So purchasing officer will create the purchase order, and then the I mean, down payment request will be generated, and if it is approved, then it will be notified by the cross-functional approvals for the PO indication. So if it is correct, then the PO will be released. If the PO and that also will be approved, then it will go to the vendor for the PO. Vendor will receive the purchase order, and purchase order will be confirmed by the vendor. And inbound delivery reference to the purchase order will be created, and from that the interface, warehouse team will be taking care of the posting, goods uh, disbursement, goods this one, goods receipt, and auto ports goods receipt will inbound delivery based on the warehouse confirmation. From there, the GR accounting document will be done, like debit and credit GRIR account. Uh, then the finance account AP will be done. Reviewing the fiscal document, and the invoice verification process will be done by the AP team.
Okay. So here, yeah. So so yeah, I understood. You need some little practices is required in the process. So and what what I'm suggesting you. So whatever the flow diagram, so you try to make it this flow diagram your own flow diagram if
Okay,
you
sir.
have a time. So just if you have one flow diagram completely, if you design, then you will have more confidence about the process. Okay.
Okay.
So because yes, here the MM involving, but I don't want to make it PR creation approval also. Just put it PO creation approval, or we can say approved PO. right? So
Okay.
put a purchase, I mean, purchase manager is the first role. Okay, there is approved, approved PO. So then, you can put it like a, GRN also, put it like a GRN process. So then, you are going to make a, invoice process. Who is going to create the invoice and who is approving the invoice? So like that, you can make it the flow diagram like that. So I don't want the PO should be here, but make it
Okay.
approved PO as the, starting process. From that, how, GRN process. Then there is a invoice process. Then accountant and account manager. So these roles and all you can include in the flow diagrams. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So that's fine. So maybe you can show the rest of the process in the next sessions. So I
Okay.
think, yeah, it's fine. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, sir.